Hey family, what's going on? What's going on? So we're just gonna have a little general conversation. Just gonna chop it up a little bit. I know I said I was supposed to be on break. That lasted about as long as you thought it was going to. So just want to chat it up with you guys, see how you guys doing, check in with you guys, and just have a conversation. Mostly, I've been making new content around trying to hold cops accountable. I'm making some content around um, Black Pride, Black Liberation. I've been making some content around trying to raise up the Black consciousness and also raise the consciousness of the American people. Trying to get people to question their government, trying to get people to question things around them, and trying to get people to realize that things are the way they are, but that's not how things have to remain. That you could choose something different for your life. It's a new age, a new day. So you have a choice right now as to how you want to live your life. You can be the master of your own destiny. Don't let the government or anyone else influence you on that. Because ultimately the person that you become is the person that you got to live with. The person who's trying to convince you to be something that you're not, that person has no interest in your well-being. So with that being said, I see a lot of new movements. I see some movements within the Hispanic community. People are raising their consciousness. I'm seeing a lot of movement within the Black community. I'm seeing a lot of movement. It's good to see. All right, what's going on,
Hey,
Saint?
how's it going?
How you been, man?
I'm great, great. Just living life.
All right, all right.
Been enjoying your content. You're killing it lately.
Yeah. I've been trying to kick it up. I'm trying to improve some, trying to give them a little bit more voiceovers because I figured that it would be a little bit more enjoyable. And I've been watching your content. I like the fact that you've been using a lot more improv and you've been using a lot more of background music. I like the fact that I watch you blossom into a good content creator. You're really good.
Yeah, my shit
I
used to be garbage, like for real. Like I was looking at my old stuff, like
no,
I
no,
had good ideas,
you
but
are
then none of
really
the
good now.
delivery was there.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
thank you. I'm trying
Yeah,
real hard. I'm
I was
trying real
really
hard, bro.
amazed.
Appreciate it.
There was one video that you did where you were talking about the capitalism and how it makes things I'm not gonna say the word because some people are gonna get upset, how it makes certain activities pointless because you're still under that particular system. And
Yep.
I think know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So like pretty much when you put out that video, the way you explained it, I like the fact that you in particular have a way of explaining things in very, very short words. I like that. Show, don't
I
tell.
try.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I just it's like cutting down to the basic. You were just talking about it. You were just talking about that same thing, basically. Like the systems of government and things in place. We don't need to adhere to this stuff. Everyone made it up. Like we're all just agreeing on made up lies. And so like since it's a made up lie, if it's getting people unalived, let's do something else. Like it's
right,
nothing's permanent. This
right.
power is never
It's
going to
all
stay in
just like
place like it's
fantasy.
at.
It's all
No,
fantasy. Like
it's all monopoly.
even the money,
Yep.
it's all about consumer confidence. Everything is fake. So if it's all fake, then why don't we write our own story? Why do you
Right.
get why are you the only people, the government are the only people who are allowed to be fake and write fake stories? I'm a writer too. I want to write my own destiny. What's going
Exactly
on,
that.
Lord of Bones?
Like, hey
Go ahead.
Jordan. Like the thing is that we're so many more of us. There's so many more of us. Like we're letting these few people get to define the game to us, and like we're the ones playing the game. We can change it at any time. We just have to all
Right,
agree on it before we do it. Otherwise, we're just gonna end up back here again. Like
right,
that's all that matters. Yeah.
right.
But
You
anyways,
would think that after the past 3 years, people would have like woken up. Like is it not clear that the government doesn't care about you? It's not
well,
clear.
after Biden should be very fucking obvious. Honestly,
Yeah,
excuse my language.
yeah,
It should be obvious. Like they don't care. Democrats, Republicans, same party. The fiscal policies are basically unilateral. Literally nothing is different. They change on identity politics and equal rights, and that's about it. That's about as far as they get different.
right.
And I
And
don't really
then and
see any
then
difference because equality for some is not equality at all. Like that's the whole biggest issue.
right. And I'm so glad that you're one of the allies that actually gets it. Like we in the Black community, we're not saying that we want to see everybody fail. What we're saying is that we want the same things as other people. And the fact is, that you can see this because you've seen how your own community gets treated, and it's like you can see that, and so now that you've seen that, you can amplify that for the entire Black community, and so I think you kind of get it to a certain extent. You can kind of get, like, the anger. It's like, we're not saying that this government is responsible for everybody. What we're saying is, if you're going to take our tax dollars, if you're going to send our men and women in freaking harm's way, if you're going to ask us to pay property taxes on houses that we've already bought, if you're going to fund the police, the same police who do horrible things to citizens, then we should be able to ask for something in return. And every time that we do, you treat it like socialism. They tell us that it's socialism for us to have health care. Excuse me, politicians have it. They tell us it's socialism for me to expect an old lady to not be kicked out of her house for freaking missing a property tax payment.
Mm-hmm.
That's not socialism. That's just being a human being.
Right. It doesn't need to be tied to any words at all. Just human decency, yeah. Like humanitarianism, equality, like these things that, like, so. They're scare words, the Red Scare propaganda. It's just like, it's so indoctrinated to all of us. And we're all like literally believing communism's evil and terrible for you. And it makes sense. I mean, they're the ones that control the narrative. They control our stories. They're telling us, like, no, you don't like communism. It's terrible. Trust us. We tell you the truth about everything. Like, what? No, not at all. They don't tell us the truth about anything. It's hard to, like, disassociate from, though. And so, like, that took me a long time to, like, get that out of my head, that communism is just, it's an economic practice. It's not good or bad. It can be either or. Like, it's all about your perspective. But, like, I kind of lost where I was going with that. About
I think I can explain it a little bit better. I see communism as, like, merely a tool, and like any tool, you can use it right, or you can use it wrong. And so, I think that people who always say that communism is bad, they're saying it from the standpoint of their own selfishness. Yes, it wouldn't work if you were in charge. Sure.
Right. Just because you can't imagine
someone like I don't know. Let's think of someone like nice and sweet. Someone like Malala. Could you imagine her taking advantage of it? No. Like, so no. It totally depends on the person. If you are a good person, if you actually care about people, and sure, a system works. But if you're someone like Jeff Bezos, you're someone like Bill Gates, you're someone like, I don't know, Elon Musk. Thank you, baby. Elon Musk. Yeah, it's not gonna work because you're all about yourself. And that's the problem. We have not only made a system where people can be all for themselves, but we have people out there who will defend their right to be for themselves at their detriment. It is the craziest thing I've seen in my life.
Right. When you really realize that, like, you have all these poor people running around simping for these billionaires, like, keeping them in power while, like, voting away their own power. It's just like, what's going on here? It's bizarre. Yeah. It's bizarre. But, like, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. But what I was saying was that, like, basic human necessities, the right to live, everyone deserves the right to live. No one has to be here. None of us are, like, super thrilled about where we're at in life or anything like that. It's just like, we're all here. We have to be here. So we might as well work together. But basic human necessities, like living, water, food, medical care, shouldn't be profited on any measure. There's no reason for any of that. Right. Problems of people who don't have the ego or ambition. That's very true. Yeah. People who should lead are the ones that do.
That is very true. There's a lot of people out there, and I've noticed this. I've met a lot of people out there who have the capacity to be great content creators, capacity to be great politicians, capacity to be great public speakers. Sometimes we don't even need people to be on social media or to be in politics or be in a courtroom. Sometimes we just need great public speakers. Like Martin Luther King, he was a preacher. He had a lot of the skills, but he was known for public speaking. That's all he did, really. So sometimes we just need people who just have the voice, who have, and so we just need that. But the problem is we have some people out there who have been scared into silence. And that's not a problem that is unique to Black people. You see it with women. You see it with Native Americans. You see it with Hispanic people. You see it with a lot of people. So I wish that every community who has been marginalized is to actually speak up. Listen, I know that I harp on people not taking momentum off of Black movements, but right now the Black community has caused an opening, a rift. You have an opportunity now. Every community who has been marginalized, who has been looked down upon, take this moment. We can cause real change, man.
Yep.
Real change. If you're sick of being poor while you're counting the 1% who are not only rich, they are still profiting at record profit. All companies right now, they're making record profits.
They've definitely
Explain that
taken
to
like a
me.
larger percent of our wealth since the pandemic. There you got what, something like $5 trillion, something like that in the last 2 years. That's
That's
insane.
crazy.
That's insane. No,
And and
it's
and and what makes it worse is that while these oil companies and these defense contractors, while they're making so much money, you having families right now who are struggling to get formula. That
yep.
is
We're sending 30
that's
billion over to
heartbreaking,
Ukraine.
man.
We're sending 30 billion to Ukraine like every other day, it seems like, and like we can't even feed everyone on our planet. Like we can use that 20 billion of the 30. They could even give 10 to Ukraine and then solve homelessness for a whole year. But like, no, they ain't gonna do that because why? Because there's no profit in it. Why are we in Ukraine? For profit and a distraction, because it wants to distract from people's movements like this. When you have a world war, like what happens in the economy? It does well because, all the businesses are doing a bunch of nonsense, creating jobs and killing people. I'm sorry, unaliving people. And then the middle class gets complacent. And they don't care anymore because if white people are comfortable, nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to change. The best way they can do that, start a war somewhere else. Like that's all it looks like.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yep.
That's unfortunate, man. But anyways,
Yes,
man, hey, let me go ahead and roll because that word was just said. So let me go ahead and roll, man. I love you, brother.
Sorry.
I'll hit you up later. I'm gonna stream about
Take
another
care.
2 hours or so. Horns up, peace out. Good night. Good luck.